So every big trial seems to have a character
A
that just
standout
pops
witness.
out.
Yes.
In O.J. Simpson, it was Kato Kalin. In Diddy, it's the Punisher. This is just almost hysterical.
In a landmark court moment that has sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry and beyond, pop superstar Justin Bieber finally broke his long-held silence, revealing explosive and deeply personal truths about the ongoing trial involving music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. This revelation marks a turning point in a case that has already captured global attention, as Bieber's candid testimony peeled back the curtain on a hidden world of power, manipulation, and silence that few dared to speak about until now. The atmosphere inside the courtroom was charged with tension as Bieber took the stand. Cameras flashed, spectators held their breath, and the air was thick with anticipation. Fans, media outlets, and critics alike flocked to social media platforms to react in real time, igniting fiery debates and expressions of shock, sympathy, and disbelief. This was no ordinary celebrity court appearance. It was a historic moment that could redefine the trajectory of the case and potentially reshape perceptions about the inner workings of the music industry. Bieber's statement was not just another legal proceeding, it was a raw, emotional disclosure that highlighted the complexity and darkness behind Diddy's high-profile empire. For years, rumors and allegations about secretive parties, coercion, and abuse have circulated, but hearing the story firsthand from someone of Bieber's stature adds an undeniable weight and urgency to the proceedings. His testimony underscores the profound impact these events have had not only on him, but on an entire generation of young artists navigating the precarious intersection of fame and exploitation. The gravity of this moment cannot be overstated. Bieber's courage in coming forward after years of silence speaks volumes about the seriousness of the allegations and the need for accountability. His revelations provide a critical piece of the puzzle in understanding the full scope of the accusations against Diddy, whose legacy now hangs in the balance. As the courtroom saga unfolds, the world watches closely, eager and anxious to learn the truth behind the glitz and glamour. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the explosive details of Bieber's testimony and what it means for the future of the trial. For years, accusations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his involvement in dark and disturbing activities have cast a long shadow over the music industry. The recent trial has brought to light allegations that many had only whispered about behind closed doors. Central to these accusations are the infamous parties hosted by Diddy, where power, control, and manipulation played out far beyond what the public had ever imagined. Diddy's parties, which were once viewed as glamorous gatherings of celebrities and influential figures, are now under intense scrutiny. Multiple testimonies from former artists, insiders, and witnesses have painted a picture of an environment rife with exploitation and abuse. These accounts reveal that these events were not merely about entertainment, but served as platforms where Diddy exercised a disturbing level of control over young artists and others who were caught in his orbit. Previous testimonies have exposed a troubling pattern of behavior. Young talents were often brought into these circles with promises of mentorship, fast-track success, and stardom. However, beneath this facade lurked coercion and manipulation. Several witnesses described an atmosphere where dissent was not tolerated, and silence was enforced through intimidation or contractual obligations that severely limited what could be disclosed publicly. The power dynamics at play were heavily skewed in Diddy's favor. Those who complied with his rules were rewarded with career advancement and opportunities, while those who resisted faced isolation, career sabotage, or worse. This imbalance created a culture of fear, making it incredibly difficult for victims to come forward or speak out against the mogul. The manipulation was not just psychological, but often legal, as contracts and non-disclosure agreements were used as tools to maintain secrecy and suppress voices. The industry's hidden secrets began to unravel as journalists and investigators dug deeper. Reports surfaced detailing how these parties were shrouded in secrecy, with strict security measures to prevent outsiders or law enforcement from accessing sensitive information. Stories of masked attendees, covert recordings, and mysterious disappearances added layers of complexity and darkness to the case. Public and media reaction to these revelations has been overwhelming. What was once the subject of rumors and gossip has become a matter of serious concern, sparking widespread outrage. Social media platforms exploded with discussions, debates, and calls for justice. Fans, critics, and fellow artists voiced their shock and condemnation, demanding accountability not just from Diddy, but from the broader industry structures that allowed such abuse to persist. This growing attention has also placed pressure on the entertainment industry to confront its own role in enabling or ignoring such behavior. Industry leaders are facing calls to implement reforms that protect artists and dismantle toxic power structures that have been allowed to thrive for decades. The gravity of the case is immense. It is not just a scandal about one man's alleged misconduct, but a systemic issue revealing the dark underbelly of fame, power, and exploitation in the music business. The trial is a critical juncture, shining a harsh light on practices that have long been hidden and raising urgent questions about the future of the industry and its responsibility to protect the vulnerable. As the legal proceedings continue, the world watches closely, aware that the outcome of this trial could have far-reaching implications. The background of the Diddy trial is a stark reminder of how the pursuit of power and control can corrupt, and how vital it is for truth and justice to prevail. After years of remaining silent, Justin Bieber made the difficult decision to take the stand and share his side of the story in the high-profile Diddy trial. His courtroom appearance marked a pivotal moment, not only in the ongoing legal battle, but also in Bieber's personal journey. The world had long speculated about what the pop superstar might say, and finally, the day arrived when he courageously chose to speak out. This decision came after much reflection and the growing realization that remaining quiet was no longer an option, not just for his own healing, but for those affected by the dark truths he was about to reveal. The courtroom was thick with tension. As Bieber entered, the eyes of the public, the media, and the legal teams fixed intently on him. The atmosphere was charged, heavy with anticipation and emotion. For Bieber, this was more than just a legal obligation. It was a deeply personal struggle. He was confronting painful memories and exposing secrets that had haunted him for years. As he took his place on the witness stand, the weight of his past and the implications for his career and personal safety were unmistakable. This testimony wasn't simply about proving facts or defending reputations. For Bieber, it was about reclaiming his voice in a world that had often tried to silence him. The pressures he faced were immense. Speaking out meant risking backlash from powerful figures, navigating the scrutiny of the public eye, and confronting the trauma that had long been buried beneath his fame. His courage to testify sent a powerful message about resilience and the importance of truth, even when it comes at a personal cost. Throughout the proceedings, Bieber's emotional state was palpable. There were moments when his voice trembled, reflecting the immense psychological toll that recounting these events took on him. The courtroom bore witness to his vulnerability as he revisited some of the most challenging chapters of his young life, times when he felt trapped between the promise of stardom and the harsh realities of the environment he was thrust into. The struggle to balance his career ambitions with his need for personal safety and mental well-being was a recurring theme in his testimony. The legal teams probed deeply, attempting to unravel the timeline and the complexities of Bieber's experiences. Yet, beyond the legal technicalities, the human story was clear. This was a young artist caught in a system that prioritized control and silence over care and protection. Bieber's appearance brought to light the emotional scars left by his association with Diddy's world and the lasting impact it had on his sense of self. As the courtroom drama unfolded, it became evident that Bieber's testimony was not only about past grievances, but also about setting a precedent. His willingness to come forward highlighted the urgent need for change within the entertainment industry. It exposed how power, imbalances, and toxic environments can devastate individuals and underscored the importance of creating safe spaces where artists can thrive without fear. In sum, Justin Bieber's court appearance was a courageous and transformative moment. It was a step toward healing, accountability, and justice, not just for himself, but for countless others who have suffered in silence. His decision to speak up reverberated far beyond the walls of the courtroom, challenging long-standing norms and shining a light on a critical issue demanding attention. Justin Bieber's powerful testimony has undeniably shifted the momentum of the ongoing trial against Diddy. Following Bieber's revelations, the court's response has been one of increased scrutiny and seriousness, signaling that this case is far from over. The judge and jury now face the challenging task of weighing Bieber's statements alongside other evidence and testimonies, all while navigating the complex web of allegations surrounding the accused. Diddy's legal team has responded swiftly, gearing up with strategies aimed at discrediting Bieber's testimony and protecting their clients' interests. Expect to see aggressive cross-examinations intended to highlight inconsistencies or question Bieber's motivations. Additionally, Diddy's lawyers may introduce alternative narratives to cast doubt on the accusations or to minimize their impact. The defense will likely emphasize the high stakes involved and attempt to sway public opinion through media channels as well. Moreover, Bieber's appearance could encourage other potential witnesses to come forward. There is growing speculation about new testimonies from artists, insiders, or former associates who may have remained silent until now. These additional revelations could further complicate the case, adding layers of detail that paint a broader picture of the alleged abuses and misconduct. Looking ahead, the trial's outcome could have far-reaching consequences beyond just the legal realm. If the prosecution secures a conviction, it could set a precedent for holding powerful figures in the entertainment industry accountable for their actions. This might spark widespread industry reforms aimed at improving artist protections, transparency, and workplace safety. On the other hand, if the defense successfully undermines the case, it may reinforce the challenges victims face when confronting influential individuals. Regardless of the verdict, the case has already ignited important conversations about abuse of power and the urgent need for systemic change within the music world. Ultimately, the next phases of the trial will be critical, not only for those directly involved, but for the entire entertainment industry and its future. Justin Bieber's revelations in court have cast a powerful new light on a case already fraught with complexity and gravity. His testimony not only exposes the dark realities lurking behind the glitz and glamour of the music industry, but also gives a voice to those who have long suffered in silence. Bieber's courage to come forward after years of silence marks a turning point, one that could reshape how abuses of power are confronted in entertainment circles. This case goes beyond the fate of a single individual. It challenges the entire industry to reflect on its hidden practices and the systems that allow exploitation to persist. Bieber's story highlights the urgent need for transparency, accountability, and protection for artists at every level. As the trial continues, the world watches closely, aware that the outcomes here could either reinforce the status quo or ignite meaningful change. This legal battle is a wake-up call, not just for Diddy or his associates, but for all who profit from the entertainment business. Ultimately, it's a moment for society to decide. Will we allow silence and complicity to continue, or will we stand up to break the cycle? The future of the industry and the safety of its artists depends on the answer.